If you're over 60, let me ask you something. Have you noticed moments when your balance feels just a little off? Maybe you catch yourself holding onto a wall, a chair, or the railing a bit more than you used to. Or maybe you avoid certain movements because you don't fully trust your balance anymore. What if I told you there are 4 simple exercises you can do at home, no gym, no equipment, that can dramatically improve your balance faster than you think? Before I get into the details, I'd love to know, how old are you and where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments below. It's always inspiring to see seniors from all across the US and even around the world coming together to take charge of their health. Now, let's talk about balance. Most people don't realize this, but balance isn't just about your legs or your feet. It's actually controlled by 3 systems working together. Your inner ear, which gives you a sense of orientation, your vision, which helps you see where you are in space, and your muscles and joints, which provide feedback to your brain about movement and stability. As we age, all 3 systems naturally decline a little. Vision might not be as sharp, the inner ear becomes less sensitive, and muscles lose strength. That's why falls become more common after 60, not because you're clumsy, but because your systems need extra training to stay sharp. Here's the good news. Balance can be retrained, and it can improve much faster than most people expect. Research shows that older adults who practice specific balance exercises just a few times a week can see measurable improvements in as little as 4 weeks. And those improvements aren't small. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show balance training reduces fall risk by up to 40%. Think about that, almost cutting your chances of falling in half just by doing a few simple movements at home. So why do these 4 particular exercises work so fast? It's because they directly target the weak points. Instead of just making you stronger in general, they retrain your brain and body to coordinate stability, strengthen the small but critical muscles that protect your joints, and sharpen the reflexes that help you recover when you're about to lose balance. And unlike general workouts or cardio, which may help endurance, balance training is laser-focused on keeping you steady on your feet. Let's start with the first one, the heel-to-toe walk. It looks simple, walking in a straight line, one foot directly in front of the other, heel touching the toes. But here's why it works so well. This exercise strengthens your ankles, hips, and core all at once, while also forcing your brain to sharpen spatial awareness. If you've ever seen someone tested for sobriety on TV, it's the same move. But for seniors, it's one of the fastest ways to improve coordination. Try doing 10 to 20 steps forward, turn around, and walk back. If you need to, keep a wall or countertop nearby for safety. Within a couple of weeks, you'll notice that your steps feel more stable even when you're moving around the house. Now, before we move to the second exercise, let me pause and ask, when was the last time you practiced a movement specifically for your balance? Most people never do. They might walk, they might lift some weights, but true balance training is a missing piece in most routines. That's why sarcopenia, muscle loss, and balance decline go hand in hand. If you're serious about staying independent, exercises like these aren't optional, they're essential. The second exercise is called the single leg stand. Simply put, you stand on one leg while keeping the other lifted just a few inches off the ground. Sounds easy, right? But here's the science. When you stand on one leg, the muscles in your hips, thighs, calves, and even your feet work overtime to stabilize your body. You're training not only strength, but also proprioception. That's the body's ability to sense its position in space. Proprioception weakens with age, and when it does, your brain doesn't react quickly enough to small slips or trips. Practicing single-leg stands literally rewires the connection between your muscles and your brain so that your reflexes sharpen again. Start with 10 to 15 seconds per side and gradually build to 30 seconds or even a full minute. Do this daily, and within weeks, you'll feel more confident standing, walking, and moving around without wobbling. Now, let me share something interesting. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that older adults who could stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds had significantly lower risk of falls and even lower risk of mortality over the following decade. That means something as small as practicing this move could literally add years of independence to your life. Powerful, isn't it? The third exercise is a bit more dynamic, the sit to stand. You start seated in a sturdy chair, arms crossed over your chest or resting on your thighs. Then, without using your hands for support, stand up slowly and sit back down. Repeat this 10 to 15 times. Why does this matter for balance? Because one of the biggest predictors of independence in seniors is the ability to rise from a chair without assistance. This move strengthens your quads, glutes, and core, the powerhouse muscles that keep you upright, while also training coordination and balance through a real-life daily motion. In fact, geriatric doctors often use this exact test, called the chair rise cast, as a predictor of fall risk and mobility health. Think about it. If you can sit and stand repeatedly without help, you're less likely to struggle with everyday movements like getting out of bed, climbing stairs, or standing up after bending down. This is not just an exercise. It's practicing independence. And the best part? You don't need a gym or any fancy equipment, just a chair. Now, the fourth exercise might be my favorite because it combines balance, strength, and posture all at once, the side leg raise. Stand tall, holding the back of a chair or countertop for support, and lift one leg out to the side, keeping your upper body straight. Slowly lower it, and repeat. Do 10 to 15 reps per side. What's happening here is you're activating the hip abductors, small muscles on the outside of your hips that are often neglected but critical for lateral stability. These muscles prevent you from tipping over when you step sideways or recover from a stumble. Most seniors don't realize these muscles weaken dramatically with age, and that's one reason why side falls in particular often lead to hip fractures. By strengthening them, you're essentially bulletproofing one of the most vulnerable areas of your body. Now let me ask you, which of these four exercises do you think you'll try first? The heel-to-toe walk, the single leg stand, the sit to stand, or the side leg raise? Leave your answer in the comments below. Not only will it help you commit, but it may also inspire another senior watching to try the same one. But here's what ties this all together: consistency. Balance exercises work fast because your nervous system adapts quickly. But if you only do them once in a while, the gains disappear just as quickly. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't brush once and say, okay, I'm good for the month. You brush daily because the benefits depend on regular practice. Balance training is the same. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day can be life-changing. And here's something motivating. Researchers at Harvard Medical School found that seniors who practiced just 15 minutes of balance training 3 times a week reduced their fall risk by 55% after only 8 weeks. Imagine how much steadier you could feel by simply making these 4 exercises part of your morning or evening routine. No gym membership, no expensive equipment, just you, your body, and a little bit of time. Now, before we move on to the next section, let me ask you another question. How many times have you had a close call in the last year? Maybe you tripped, stumbled, or had to grab onto something to keep from falling. Think about it. Every stumble is your body telling you it needs balance training. And the great news is you can do something about it starting today. Now let's take a step deeper into why these 4 exercises, when done consistently, create results so quickly. It's not just about muscles, it's about retraining your nervous system. Think of your brain and your body like a dance partnership. Over time, if they stop practicing together, the timing gets off, the rhythm breaks, and the coordination suffers. That's exactly what happens with balance as we age. Your muscles may still be strong enough, but if your brain isn't firing signals quickly enough, even a tiny misstep can lead to a fall. Balance exercises reestablish that rhythm, rebuilding the communication lines between your nervous system and your muscles. That's why the improvements often feel almost immediate. For example, many seniors report feeling steadier within the first 2 weeks. Is it because they've suddenly grown much stronger? Not quite. It's because their reflexes sharpened, their coordination improved, and their brains started responding more efficiently to changes in position. Think of it like upgrading the wiring in a house. The power source might be the same, but the signals flow faster, more reliably, and with less risk of short circuits. Another reason these exercises work so well is that they strengthen the smaller stabilizer muscles most traditional workouts miss. When people think about exercise, they imagine squats, push-ups, or walking on a treadmill. Those are great for big muscle groups, but they don't do much for the ankle stabilizers, the deep core muscles, or the tiny hip muscles that control side-to-side motion. The 4 exercises we covered, heel-to-toe walk, single leg stand, sit-to-stand, and side leg raise, all target these overlooked muscles directly. And when those stabilizers get stronger, it's like adding shock absorbers to your car. The ride feels smoother and the whole system becomes more resilient. Now, let me pause and ask you a personal question. Have you ever avoided certain activities like gardening, shopping, or even playing with your grandkids because you weren't sure about your balance? You're not alone. Millions of seniors limit their daily activities because of that quiet fear of falling. But here's the empowering truth. Balance is trainable at any age. Even if you're 70, 80, or beyond, you can make measurable progress. The body is remarkably adaptable. Let's talk about progression. If you want to keep improving, you have to make these exercises gradually more challenging. For the heel-to-toe walk, start with support nearby. Once you're comfortable, try doing it without holding on. For the single leg stand, begin with both hands lightly resting on a countertop. Over time, reduce it to one hand, then just a fingertip, then no support at all. With sit-to-stands, start with a higher chair. As you improve, use a lower seat or add more repetitions. And with side leg raises, slow the movement down. The slower you go, the harder your muscles work. Progression ensures that your brain and muscles continue adapting instead of plateauing. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what if I lose my balance while practicing? That's a valid concern, and safety always comes first. Here are a few simple tips. Always practice near a sturdy surface, like a wall, countertop, or the back of a heavy chair. Never try balance training in a cluttered space or on slippery floors. If you feel unsteady, keep your support close. Over time, as your confidence grows, you'll find you need the support less and less. And here's something I really want you to remember. Balance isn't just about preventing falls. It's about freedom. Think about the things you love. Traveling, dancing, walking through a park, or even standing in the kitchen cooking a family meal. All of those depend on good balance. The stronger and steadier you feel, the more fully you can enjoy those moments without hesitation or fear. Balance training gives you back the freedom to move without second-guessing every step. Let me share a story. A patient of mine, a 72-year-old woman named Carol, came to me after she had 2 near falls in her home. She wasn't injured, but she was shaken up. She said she started avoiding going out to her garden because she didn't feel steady on the uneven ground. We started her on a simple routine. Single leg stands by the kitchen counter, sit-to-stands from a sturdy chair, and heel-to-toe walks down her hallway. Within 4 weeks, she told me she felt like her feet were finally listening to her again. By 8 weeks, she was back in the garden daily, moving confidently on the grass and even carrying watering cans again. That's the power of these small, consistent habits. Now, some of you might wonder, how often should I do these exercises? The answer is simple. Ideally, daily, but even 2 to 3 times a week can make a difference. The key is consistency, not perfection. Aim for 10 to 15 minutes a day, and you'll be amazed at the changes you feel within a month. And let's not forget another piece of the puzzle, posture. Poor posture can throw off your center of gravity and make balance harder. Many seniors spend long hours sitting, which weakens the core and tightens the hips. The exercises we talked about naturally improve posture because they engage your core and teach your body to stay aligned. But you can take it further by practicing mindful posture checks. Every hour, pause, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, and gently tighten your abdominal muscles. That small adjustment instantly improves balance by stacking your body in the right position. Nutrition also plays a role. Did you know that low vitamin D and low protein intake are linked to higher fall risk? Vitamin D helps keep your muscles firing properly, while protein preserves the muscle tissue you need for strength.
So while you're practicing these balance exercises, also make sure your diet supports your efforts. Eggs, Greek yogurt, lean meats, or plant-based proteins, combined with vitamin D sources like fortified milk or safe sun exposure, will give your body the fuel it needs. Now, let me ask, do you think you'll commit to at least 5 minutes of balance training a day? I'd love to see your answers in the comments. Saying it out loud makes it more real. And you never know, your comment might encourage someone else to start too. As we wrap this up, here's the big takeaway. Balance is not something you lose forever. It's something you can rebuild. It doesn't require a gym, a trainer, or expensive equipment. It requires only a few minutes of your time and the willingness to practice. The heel-to-toe walk, the single leg stand, the sit-to-stand, and the side leg raise. 4 simple moves that, when done consistently, can turn back the clock on your stability. Imagine this. A month from now, you're walking across your living room without reaching for the wall. You're climbing stairs without hesitation. You're out in the yard or at the store, moving with confidence instead of fear. That's what's possible with these exercises. And the best part? The improvements start almost immediately. So here's your challenge. Pick one of the 4 exercises and start today. Just 5 minutes. Tomorrow, do another one. Before you know it, these movements will become as natural as brushing your teeth. And every time you do them, you're not just preventing falls, you're reclaiming strength, independence, and confidence. Now, if this video has been helpful, please make sure you subscribe to Senior Well-Being. We talk about practical, science-backed strategies that help you stay strong, independent, and healthy after 60. And don't forget to share this video with a friend or family member who might need a little extra balance in their life. You could be giving them the gift of confidence and safety. So, what's your next step? Which exercise are you going to try first? Heel to toe, single leg stand, sit to stand, or side leg raise? Let me know in the comments. And remember, you're never too old to get stronger, steadier, and more capable. Your body is ready to respond. All it needs is the signal, and that signal can start today.